Good morning. Welcome to Elevation. Today's class is called Around the Mat because we'll be taking a little sequence. They'll take us around the mat. And again, the idea just getting our joints moving in every direction. Of course, when we talk about good movement, refreshing the body, we really want to focus on moving these big joints in the shoulders and the hips and making sure that we are moving them well. So you're going to come down onto your back and you won't necessarily need a block for the core work, but it might be nice to have if it's available to you. Starting off though with laying on the ground, you'll get your sacrum, back of the pelvis, your scapula, and your skull connected into the floor. And then take your hands on top of the two legs. So palms are touching the thighs right around where they plug into those hip creases. Then push your hands into your legs and let that lift your pelvis off the ground. We're taking our hips into a little bit of hip extension, and start to press into the feet, spreading the toes. You're going to lift and lower the pelvis. And we're working a little bit of hip extension. So really try to work extending those hips, getting gluteal firing. Core is on here. So we're drawing that thing down and into the low back, helping to lengthen out all the musculature around the abdominals, around the core, and helping to free that back fascial sheath. You might now take your hands from the top of the thighs. So they've been here helping give us a little feedback to the glutes, giving them a little something to push against. When we push on our quads, it can help to cue those glutes to fire up. But then you can also take your hands onto your actual glutes and feel the muscle that's working for you here, both of them, attaching from those legs to the back of the pelvis, big locomotors. They're leg extenders. They think about like walking through the day, right? You get that leg extension, that push off the toe, a lot of glute working there. And from here, we're gonna hold our little low ramp pose. So you'll stay off the ground with the back of the pelvis, the sacrum there, but keep pushing to the feet. Take your hands up towards the ceiling and stretch out your right wrist. So you'll stretch out your right wrist just with a few breaths. Breathing into that wrist and still giving space to the low back while we open everything up. One more. Release and take it to the other hand. One more breath. So first you'll lower from your upper to your middle, and then all the way down to the lower back and sacrum until it all comes down. So here's where you can grab that block for just a little bit of our core work here. Now, again, it's not necessary, but it can be helpful here as we take it in between our legs. I'd recommend going like with the skinniest setting that it has, narrow in between your knees. Just gives you a little something to squeeze into. And when we kick our leg, it'll keep it in line. So first we're gonna work a little knee extension. Big inhale, exhale, lift. Gather it all together. Kick your left leg forward and spread your toes. You just look at those toes, spread them. Left foot comes down, inhale. Exhale, lift. Right foot kicks forward, spread the toes. Strong in that core. Right foot comes down, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Left foot kicks forward. So if you have that block, you're squeezing it, it'll help keep the thighs in line. If not, just keep the legs in line. Take a little twist to the left. Hold it there. Keep that left shoulder blade off the ground. Come back through center. Left leg lowers, inhale. Exhale, lift. Right foot kicks forward, squeeze into that block. Take a little twist to the right. So you're twisting to the right, holding it all together. Come back through center. Right foot lowers, inhale. Exhale, lift. Left foot kicks forward. Twist to the left and reach your right arm past your left thigh. Really reach with your right shoulder blade. Woo! Right foot comes down. Sorry, left foot comes down. Right hand comes back. Inhale. You know what I meant. Exhale, left. Right foot kicks and the left arm, twist to the right as the left arm reaches. So you're twisting to the right and the left arm is reaching. You're really reaching from that shoulder blade, pulling in deeper. Come back down, inhale, and lower. Take the block out from in between the legs, and we'll bring our knees over top of our hips. This will be a short one. Inhale, exhale, and lift. Take a twist to the left again. Now press your right hand into your left thigh and just like resist it there. It's almost like your left thigh is trying to press into your right hand. You're feeling a lot of deep psoas activation. Right hand comes back, inhale. Exhale, lift. Twist to the right and press your left palm into your right thigh. Really pull down into the guts. Hand back behind the head, inhale. Exhale, lift. Twist to the left. Right hand on left thigh and kick your right foot forward. Really feel that energy. Right knee comes back, right hand back, inhale. Last one, exhale, lift. Twist to the right. Press your left hand on your right thigh and then kick your left leg forward. So you resist that with the right thigh, then bring the left foot back and then lower it all down. Wow. Wiggle the feet wide. Let's get a little rock from side to side. So try not to dump into the low back, but really keep your sacrum glued to the ground. And that'll actually help you move your hips more. Again, we want good movement, biggest joints of the body. We want them centrated. So all that means is we have our leg bones, our arm bones in a position in the joint where the most amount of space between the other bones in order to maximize the energy that we're sending through those joints. So we just want to be able to move those legs from side to side in the hip socket without feeling the need to mobilize the pelvis. So we want to be able to move the pelvis when we want to move the pelvis. We also want to be able to hold it still when we want to hold it still. All right, so we'll now bring ourselves around onto our hands and knees. Continuing just to bring it around here today. We're going to get our hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Walk the knees in a little bit closer to your hands than underneath your hips are even, and really press into those hands so you feel those shoulder blades hung onto the back ribs. If you find your head is really drooping on you, you can lift your gaze so that you can extend your chin and then drop your chin in towards your chest, but still keep your skull in line with the rest of your back. One more breath here. Exhaling. And we're going to keep our left hand down, but reach the right arm out to the side. And just 3 times here, we're going to bend the left elbow, scoop the right arm through, and then press in the left hand and just bring the right arm directly out to the side, like it's a wing, or you're making the capital T shape. You're going to scoop it under, big J, and then right arm comes out, left hand is down. One more time, scoop it under, bend the left elbow on your way down, that'll help, and then bring it on down. Right hand comes down. So get that left arm out to the side, just give myself enough space from the wall, bend that elbow, give a little twist, and bring it back up. Bend that elbow, a little twist, press, bring it back up, bend and a little twist, press and bring it back up, and comes down. Then from here, let's come down onto our forearms and wake that back chain of the legs up. So we're getting ready for dolphin. You can have your forearms parallel. You can always tie those hands together. You can even have a block in between those hands, really helping to keep it all level and to really open up these shoulders with this shortened lever arm. So from here in your dolphin, again, you want to have like your hips just above those knees. Relax the head, push into the forearms. Spread your shoulder blades so much that you really, really puff up in between that back and tuck your toes and hoist your pelvis up. Your right foot will stay down, the left leg will lift. It's just extending directly behind you, heels in line with the glutes, and then push into your right big toes. Just for 5, 4, 3. So you're bending and extending the ankle of the right foot. Left foot comes down, right foot lifts up. Look at the toes, the right heel is just in line with the hip, and then push into the left big toe, extending and bending that ankle. Really good. 5, 4, 3, 2, spread the toes. 1, right foot comes down, knees come down, child's pose. Breathe into your back. And don't let your arms collapse, but still keep some lift around them. We'll bring ourselves back up. You can come to do a little down dog, dolphin, or forearm stand at the wall. So get your feet against the wall, measure out the distance that you have with your hands, flip it around. If you're going with your dolphin, replace your hands with your elbows. They're pretty much, it won't be perfect, but just about where your palms were. And then from here, hands are down. Once again, you want to set up down dog by getting your heels against the wall. Core stays on. It's a deep, deep hip flexion. And walk those feet up. Press the hands and breathe. You just want to stay up there as long as you can. We're working on pressing into the hands, straightening out the elbows, getting those shoulders long, not being afraid to press those hands into the ground and to feel that lift and that elevation. And all the while, it's always helpful to think, don't let those front ribs collapse, your hip flexors, get them deeper. Feel like your leg bones are moving back into those hip flexors, and that little bit of extra movement back into the hip will just go so far in order to get that feeling really, really good. So we can make our way towards the top of the mat. We'll get ready for some sun salutations. Just to get it started. All right, leave a little space as always for your hands or fingertips to land. Top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms. Forward and up, exhale, hinge at the hips. Hinge at your hips, don't twerk at your pelvis. Right foot goes back, right knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Arms reach up, long. Hands come down, press into the palms. Left foot steps back, right knee comes down. Both knees come down. Sorry, everything lowers to the ground. Have the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in Cobra, root your tailbone, lift, down dog. Hoist the pelvis up high, step those feet in. Right foot steps, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up, 90-90. Low lunge. Get long in the side bodies by holding the front body in. Hands come down. Step to the top of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Left foot steps back. Left knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Step back. So there's a leg extension. A step back. Lower the knees. Lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones. Stay centered. So don't let those arms roll forward. Don't crash into those chest bones. Pull the hands back. Scapula on the back ribs. Inhale and Cobra. Lift. Scapula still on the back ribs as you press up for down dog. Let the feet walk in. Get long in your back. Bend the knees. Flex the hips. Step the left foot forward. Right knee comes down. Inhale. Arms reach forward and up. Long in that side body. Hands come down. Step it forward. Top of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge. Right foot steps back. So start off kind of similar. Right knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. And then from here, let's bring the arms down by our side. And we'll roll our shoulders back one at a time. So getting a little bit of scapula movement. Again, this class around the mat, around the block, because we're just going to go around in a circle in our little stream. But it's all about a quick routine to get the body moving, get all the joints in the body moving so that they feel hydrated, activated, centrated, and ready to go. Okay, so slow your shoulder rolls down. We're gonna tuck our back right toe and open up to the right. Side lunge to the right. Side lunge to the left, and come back to the right for side lunge, and then go back to the left for side lunge, and keep going back and forth between the two. I like to take my fingers and physically stuff my hip flexor back. So I literally take my peace fingers, right, pointer and middle, and I point them into my femur bone. And, you know, of course, if it's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable. You don't have to do it. But pushing it back there really is going to encourage that femur bone. Move it back into the hip. Move it back into the hip. Okay. We're doing like a little runner stretch, and we're going to turn to the back of the mat for it. So turning to the back of the mat, make sure your feet are parallel. You can step your left foot in a little bit here. We're going to come down onto our left heel. The right leg is straight. Toes are turning up. So both heels are down. Arms can swing back and line up with the torso. We'll do this a bunch of times. So first one will be a little weird, I know. We're going to push into the feet, straighten both legs, the back leg in particular, and stand up. You're standing on your toes and you're lifting your heels with your feet staggered, you know, like you're on train tracks. Now we're going to land the heels down, move the hands back, flex the hips. You can take your fingers and move your hips back, but your back stays long, your spine stays long. Sort of like a pistol squat with that right heel forward. Rise back up. So we're coming onto the toes, extending the spine. We're swinging the arms down, bringing those heels down, and maybe lifting that front toe, reaching it up, trying to press all the way into our toes. Here's triple extension. Hips are extended, knees are extended, ankles extended. And then we'll bring it down, heels land, pull the toe back, triple flexion for the back leg, hip flexes, knee flexes, ankle flexes. One more time, coming all the way up. Hold that there, press into those toes, feel that lift. Core is on, glutes are working. It's the proximal joints, the shoulders, the hips that send that energy where it needs to go. And then one more time, sit back, heels land, bend that left knee, pull the arms back, spine is long. Hands come down, left foot stays down, right leg goes up and back, three-legged down dog. Big breath here. Exhale. Step the right foot forward, land the left knee down, 90-90 low lunge, facing the back of the mat. Roll your shoulders back, one at a time. So as we're rolling these shoulders, we want to make sure the glutes are working. So core is on, glutes are working, everything feeling powerful in the moment. And then we'll slow our shoulder rolls down. We're going to tuck the back left toe and turn to the left. Side lunges again. So side lunge to the left, side lunge to the right. Continue to stick with your fingers moving back into the hip crease if you like that cue. And then also focus on the head of the arm bone, staying centered. That's one that gets away from me a lot, so I've been cueing it a lot recently. If they roll forward, disengage the core. So we're going to keep it up, keep them back. Keep your shoulders in line with everything else. And then turn to the front of the mat. You may need to adjust your stance a little bit. So, you know, you're standing on your train tracks, not a tightrope. We're on the heels of both feet. Flex the right hip. Sit back into the right hip. You're bending the right knee. You're flexing the right ankle. And then we're pushing into our feet, rising up on our toes. Arms are going to reach up. So toes are pointed forward. It's like we're standing on train tracks. Triple extension in the hip, the knee, the ankle. And then both of our heels land. We sweep the arms back, move back into the right hip. Keep the spine long. It's like a runner stretch. Right hip is flexed, right knee is flexed, right ankle is flexed. This is called triple flexion. Rise up. So good for the extremities. Bring that reach up, core is on. Hands come down, frame out your side. Pull it back, press and lift. Pull it back, sweep it up and forward, back, and triple flexion. Spine stays long, core stays on. We're not trying to touch our torso to our leg or anything. Reach up, press the toes, hold this here, feel that length. One more time, we'll runner stretch. Move the hips back, hands come down, right foot stays down, left leg goes up, three-legged down dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Step to the top of the mat and fold at the top of the mat. So left foot and right foot. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Stand up tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Step back. Plank pose. Lower, knees are not. Remember, we can always lift our chin and realign our skull. We want to make sure that's in line, not drooping to the ground first. Pull back, hands for Cobra. Lift, press. Downward facing dog. Big breath there. And out. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Step or hop back. Plank pose. Lower, knees or not. Knees are always a great way to stabilize. Keep the chin tucked in, but don't let the head drop down to the ground with it. Pull back the hands for Cobra. Root the tailbone. Lift, down dog. Hoist the hips up high. Flex them. Big inhale. Big exhale. Option to bend your knees. Try a little hop up to the top, just for fun. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Step. Or give a little hop back. Lower. Knees are not. Have the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in Cobra. Lift, down dog. Let's get one more cycle, just like that. Step to the top of the mat or a little pop up. Forward and up. Hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Step or hop back. Plank pose. Lower. Knees are not. Have the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in Cobra. Lift. Down dog. Step your left foot forward and then step it back. Down dog. Step your left foot forward and then step it back. Down dog. So all you're stepping your left foot is forward. Don't step it out to the side. Make sure your thigh stays under your torso. Step it back. Step it forward. Hip flexion. Step it back. Step it forward. Hip flexion. One more time. Step it back. One more time. Step it forward and rise up for warrior two. You bring your hands on either side of the pelvis. Land your right heel down. Left foot will be forward. We'll bend that left knee. We want to sit into our pelvis and just make sure nothing's spilling forward or coming out of the back either. We have that root of the tailbone. Arms are going to reach out. Wavy warrior. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, come back to warrior. Exhale, reach over. Forearm to thigh. So you inhale, come up. Exhale, reach up. Reverse. Come back through with an inhale and exhale, reach forward. A warrior variation. Another inhale, reach up. Exhale, forearm on thigh. Right arm sweeps over. Right hand comes down, inside left foot. Right knee comes down, 90-90, twisted crescent. Check the head of the arm bone on that right side. As you press into your right hand, rotate open to the left. We're gonna keep this left hand on that right head of the arm bone so that we can focus on keeping centration in the humeral head, releasing the ear, and then bringing your fingers around onto the back scapula. So you want to feel your right scapula with your left hand so you can feel how when your palm's really connected to the ground, you really can get that shoulder blade hugging, supporting your hair. Really nice. And then everybody just bump your right knee underneath your left ankle and come to a seated spiral. If you want a block to sit on, slide a block under your gluteus maximus. And then from here, we'll do side bends. So we're gonna have our left hand down, right arm reaches up, side bend to the left. Again, just trying to get ourselves a little bit of movement in every direction, going around the block. Right now, we've only seen the one half of the block, the half of the block that we live on. Come back up, left arm reaches up, bend that elbow, reach it on over. But there's always two sides of the block, right? Really everything in life has like two sides, you know, it's a good thing. You know, it could be even a little stressful right now, all the divide between people, but there's two sides of everything, two sides of us. Bring that left hand down and we're just gonna unwind to the back of the mat. So you'll uncross your ankles, your knees, you'll go to the back of the mat, step your right foot back to meet the left. So now let's keep moving that right leg as we step the right foot forward and back. So it's hip flexion. You're moving the right foot forward and then you're stepping it back in the down dog. You move it forward and back. What you don't want is for it to like wing out to the side. So if you find you're really stepping like off your mat or to the side, I do want you to notice, like, is that restriction in the hip flexor? So just don't step up as far, but you need to start working more range of motion there. You're compensating going out to the side. Not talking to anyone specifically, just the things I typically observe, especially when I'm doing like personal assessments. This is a hard movement, this hip flexion. We got to really focus on it. That's why it's written in the class today. Okay, right foot steps forward, last time. Rise up for warrior 2. Root your tailbone, core is on, pelvis is neutral. So a neutral pelvis. And for the sake of warrior 2, is like, you feel like you're not spilling, the front hip points forward and you're lifting your tailbone up. Instead, you're rooting that tailbone down, getting length in the back. Reverse, exhale, reach up. Come back through, inhale, exhale, reach over. Inhale, reverse. Rise back up, form on thigh and back up. Reverse. One more. And the left hand comes down, left knee is down. Your right hand on your left glenohumeral joint. It's a 90-90 twisted crescent. We're gonna press on the left hand and rotate open to the right. But let your left ear release your left shoulder. So much work that our neck does for us. You can slide your right hand around onto the back left scapula and just feel that. Ooh, winging, hopefully not. Plugging onto that back. Press into the hand. Feel like you could dial your left hand out to the left without actually moving it. You should really feel it open up. Then we'll take our left knee, just bump it behind the right ankle for your seated spiral again. So you'll sit up on your glutes. Spine is long. I'm all mixed up in my seated spiral right now. All right, now I'm even. And then again, we'll have our right hand down, left arm up and side bend to the right. You can bend the right elbow as you're reaching long on the left side body. Kind of like that quad we did. We're bending the elbow on purpose to create a little more length in the side. Come back up. Exhale. As you rise up, you'll unwind to the left. Step to the top of the mat, grab a little water, and get ready to put this thing together. So we'll come on up. And now we'll have our little sequence where we really do go around the block. So that's my heads up. Just be ready to, face forward, to the side, to the back, and finish facing to the side again. We'll start off in our mountain pose. Arms reach forward up. Hinge at the hips. Exhale. Hands come down. Right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. Reach the arms forward and up for 90-90 low lunge. Left hand comes down onto that back right glute. Always good to check in with this one. Right arm reaching up. Left knuckles on the right glute, securing it, lifting. One more breath in. Sweep the right arm down. Turn to the right. Side lunge to the right. Side lunge to the left. Side lunge to the right. Side lunge to the left. Whole time, keep that core on. So belly pulls up and into the back line of the body. Try not to round the back. We got this nice upright spine. It's looking great in the class here. All right, we're gonna turn to the back for that little runner stretch. Triple flexion, triple extension. Set up the feet like they're on train tracks, and they might come a little bit narrower, closer together than say like your high lunge. We're gonna sit back on the left hip. So you're on the heel of the right foot, turning the toes up, sitting back in the left hip, flexing the left knee, flexing the left ankle, then press into your toes, rise all the way up. Triple extension through that left leg. Sweep the arms down. So this is this big sweep down, toes turn up, arms stay long, reach it up, pushing the toes, triple extension, core stays on. Bring it back, hips go back, bring it forward. And you don't even actually have to reach your arms all the way forward and up. They could just pause right in front of you. You take it back. Because I know going all the way up can pop the ribs sometimes. So if you find they're popping, keep your hands forward. And then back. One more time going up. Press the feet, come up on those toes. 3 breaths here, just feeling that connection into the toes, feeling this length of the body. We are elongating the lines of energy. And then one more time, bring your hip back on that left, triple flexion in the hip, the knee, the ankle. Hands come down, 3-legged down dog, right leg goes up and back and marching it. Right leg comes down, left leg goes up. So this is hip extension. Left leg comes down, right leg goes up. Keep marching like that. Keep the weight in your hands. Keep your elbows straight. Push into your palms. Do not let them go. Last 3, 2, and 1. End with your left foot up, your right foot down. Step your left foot to the top of the mat, to the back of the mat, up to your hands, and rise up for warrior 2, facing the back. Sorry, I know that was confusing. So we're in warrior 2. Left leg is forward, facing the back of the mat. Arms are out, so the left knee has the bend in it. Flip your left hand, reach up, exhale, reverse, come back up, warrior 2, forearm on thigh, right arm sweeps over. Reverse. Coming through, forearm on thigh and sweep it over. One more reverse. And a big around and sweeping it over. Then right hand comes down inside that left foot. Turn on the toes. You can lower the right knee or keep it lifted for twisted crescent. So the left hand can still check that right glenohumeral joint. Shoulder stays on the back ribs, and you can always lower the right knee if having the knee lifted is too much. You can also check your right glute. Make sure that that's working for you. You need that muscle on, lifting the right hip away from the floor. Release the ear to the shoulder. 2 more breaths. I just got my hand on my sacrum, making sure I don't dip my head. And then we'll bring our right knee behind our left ankle. You can sit up on a block if it got far away from you like mine did, and roll your shoulders back one at a time. Just getting this nice little mobilization of the torso. And here's the other side of the block. Everybody needs to take a look at the other side sometimes. All right, we're gonna unwind to the right, straddle. This is the new one. So for straddle, you can stand up tall. You're gonna flex your hips, you can bend your knees, send the hips back. Hands can come down onto a block or the floor or fingertips. Spine is long though here, and a few cat-cows like that. Pull your chest forward in a cobra chest. Push into your hands. Spread your shoulder blades. Do that on your own breath here too. So like even as I'm starting these, I can feel like maybe I was more rounded in my sleep last night or something, but I want to come up onto my higher height on my block. That's just feeling too restricted on the medium height. So we're doing our cobra chest, pull forward, hands are on the block, broadening it, pressing and spreading. And then along the spine, walk the hands around to the top of the mat. And we're gonna send our left foot to meet the right. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down. Left foot steps back, left knee comes down, 90-90, low lunge. Taking it from the other side of the block around. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Left arm is up, right hand comes down onto that back left glute. So you're knuckling that left glute, holding it up, lifting it up. One more breath. Big psoas lengthener here. Turn to the left, tuck the toes if they weren't already. Side lunge to the left, side lunge to the right. Still keep all those same ideas. Your legs are moving back into the hips. Core is staying on. shoulders, our back. And then we'll turn to the back of the mat. Train track those feet. So we're moving the right hip back, lifting the left toes up, arms reach back, spine stays long. Triple flexing our right hip, our right knee, our right ankle. Rise up on the toes. So you lift the heels away from the floor, come up tall. If the arm's reaching up, really pops your ribs forward. Just keep your hands in front of your chest. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I feel my ribs popping a lot. Pull those hands back, turn the toes up, sit back in the right hip, bend the right knee, flex the right ankle, and then press, extend right ankle, right knee, right hip. Rise up onto the toes. You're lifting your left heel as well. Sweep it back. And up. Reaching it forward, getting tall, long, back. You can always shorten your stance, but still kind of keep your feet train track style, right? If they could be tightrope or train track, we're gonna go with train tracks. Ooh, a little harder on this side for me. All right, one more time. Let's rise up and hold it. So you're up on the toes, feeling your triple extension, just feeling that connection of pelvis into the legs, into the knees, into the floor. And then we'll pull it back with the arms. On our stretch. Sitting back in that hip. Left leg getting long. Hands come down. Left leg goes up and back. Three-legged down dog. And march. Left leg down, right leg up. Right leg down, left leg up. So practice just moving in your hip. You want to feel your butt muscles squeeze as you lift the leg. Idea isn't that the pelvis is moving. So if you feel this in your low back at all, I will caution, do not lift your leg nearly as high. All right, everybody end with the right leg up, step it forward. Just one time. Rise up. It's nice to get that step forward just one time after you've been doing it so many times. Back and forth. Flip the front palm, exhale, and reverse. So reach up, inhale, come back through center, forearm on thigh, left arm reaches over. Back through center, inhale, exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior variation. Inhale, reverse. Last one. Variation. Left hand down. Option to drop that left knee down or go full twisted crescent. You can keep the right hand on the left glenohumeral joint where that arm bone meets the shoulder socket. Release your ear. Press on the toe, squeeze glute. Breathe here. I like to bring my hand on my sacrum and just make sure my left hip isn't sagging down to the earth and collapsing on me. Let's bring our left knee behind the right ankle and come to a seated spiral. This time we can roll our shoulders back a few times. See what you can release. And then getting ready, slow your shoulders down, take it back around town, and we'll return to the side we were on in our straddle with a new perspective. So we'll sit back in the hips. Let those knees bend, bring our hands either to the ground or to a block. So you can see I'm on my highest height of my block here. I really like this. Inhale, cobra chest. Exhale, little cat rounding, spread those shoulder blades. And then walk to the front of the mat. Step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, rise up. Hands will come to heart center. Find 2 breaths here. Feeling that connection to yourself, to the ground, and everything around. Now we'll really feel this triple flexion as we come all the way down to the ground and onto our back. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Well, supine figure 4 to release. So you can keep the left foot on the ground or you can lift it, but just let that right thigh roll out. It can always be nice to even have like a block pillow if that doesn't feel good. Again, not required. Roll the thighs open. And we'll uncross and do the other leg. Again, your foot can stay down, you can lift it up. I like to put my left hand on the inside of my left thigh, since that's the thigh rolling out now, and my right hand on top of my right thigh, since that's the one just kind of chilling here. And we'll let those hips open up. We'll uncross our left ankle and bring it down. You can remove the block from underneath your skull. You want to bring that really gently down. And you can either wiggle the feet in, drop the knees in towards each other, or let the legs go out long, a little Shavasana. Of course, you're always welcome to take this for longer by just pausing the tape. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Take time, but give a nice big stretch to the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, eventually gather the limbs back in towards the torso, back over to one side. Make your way up to the comfortable seated position that calls to you. And just having taken it around the block, having seen both sides of the mat, knowing that there really truly are two sides of everything, right? It is only in the darkness that light truly illuminates. And so, speaking of that light in me honors the light that shines inside of you. And I bow in respect to that light, which truly ties us all together. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Enjoy.